Blown out skies, crushed shadows, you can fix all of it right on your phone. In this tutorial, we're diving into the Blackmagic Camera App's most powerful visual exposure tools. These exposure tools show you exactly what's wrong before you hit record. Let's talk about zebra stripes, one of the simplest and most powerful exposure tools in the app. When you tap the icon, you'll see diagonal stripes appear over the brightest parts of your image. These aren't just random, they're based on IRE levels, a scale from 0 black to 100 white. You'll also notice that there's two other modes, mid-gray and MG+1. Use mid-gray, which is 40 IRE, with a gray card for precise, repeatable exposure, especially in log. And MG+1 is around 50 to 55 IRE, which gives you a bit of headroom while staying safe. The bottom line is zebras help protect your highlights and dial in proper exposure fast. Focus peaking is your built-in focus assistant, and it's a lifesaver when you're shooting manually or in log. You'll see colored outlines, usually green, red, or blue, appear around the sharpest edges in your frame. Whenever the outlines show up, that's where the image is in focus. So what can you use focus peaking for? Well, first, you can lock onto eyes and facial features. You can also nail focus on text, logos, or product details. A pro tip would be to turn peaking on to lock focus, then off before recording to keep your frame clean. If you're manually focusing, this tool gives you the confidence that your shot is perfectly focused before you hit record. Want your shots to look instantly more cinematic? Grid overlays help you frame, align, and compose like a pro, and they won't show up in your final footage. Here's what each one does. Rule of thirds, classic 3x3 grid, helps you position subjects off-center, balance elements, and add depth. Center cross, simple horizontal and vertical lines through the middle, ideal for centered framing, symmetrical shots, and leveling horizons. Crosshair, a precision dot with intersecting lines. Use it for macro work, tight product shots, or pinpoint focus like eyes or labels. Dot center. It's just a small center dot, clean and fast, great for quick alignment or minimalist setups. Different platforms use different aspect ratios, and if you don't frame for them while shooting, you risk cropping out important parts later. 1x1 is the perfect square. You'll see this all over Instagram. 2x1 gives you a wide cinematic YouTube look, clean and modern. 2.35x1 is the classic letterbox film vibe. 9x16, that's basically vertical video. Think Instagram stories, YouTube shorts, or TikTok. Basically anything that's made for mobile. False color is one of the most powerful exposure tools in the Blackmagic Camera App, especially if you're shooting in log. When you turn it on, your image becomes a color-coded heat map showing brightness levels using the IRE scale. So let's break down what the colors mean when you're using false color. Green. That's the sweet spot. Proper midtones, perfect for skin tones and gray cards, usually sitting around 40 to 50 IRE. See pink or magenta, that means soft highlights. Natural looking skin, just a bit brighter. Think 60 to 70 IRE. If you're seeing the color yellow, you're very close to the danger zone at around 90 to 95 IRE, which means that you're very close to clipping. If you're seeing red, it's a warning sign that your footage is overexposed. If you're seeing blue, that's the opposite. It's too dark, sitting around 20 IRE. You're losing detail in the shadows. And finally, purple. That means crushed blacks, barely any detail left, and it's sitting down at 0 to 10 IRE. So why does it matter? It gives you consistent professional exposure, lets you protect skin tones and highlights, makes color grading log footage faster and more accurate. And the bottom line is false color isn't about what looks good, it's about what's technically right. If you want pro-level control, this tool is essential. The LUT Preview toggle is a small button with a big impact. So what does it do? When it's enabled, it lets you preview your footage with a LUT applied, adding contrast, color, and mood to your image without affecting the actual recording. Think of it like a digital filter. It gives you a more cinematic preview, it helps with exposure and lighting decisions, and it keeps your footage flat underneath so you can fully grade it in post. So this section controls how your camera preview looks, both on your iPhone screen and any connected external monitor. Focus Assist. It's super helpful when you're shooting in manual focus or a log profile where everything looks kind of flat and soft. And you've got two main selections here. peaking, and this highlights the sharpest part of your image like the eyes, edges, and fine textures. It's your go-to for dialing in critical focus. The other selection is colored lines, and this is a stronger, higher contrast overlay that makes edges really pop. Next is Focus Assist Color, and you have the option to choose between red, green, blue, white, and black. My advice would be to pick red or green as it usually pops best against skin tones and mixed environments. The next three sections, Guides Opacity, Guides Color, and Grids Opacity, let you customize how your framing guides and grids look on screen. Opacity lets you control how strong or faint the overlays appear. If you want them barely there, then dial it down. If you need them to pop on a bright day, crank them up. Color gives you flexibility. Pick something that stands out against your scene. For outdoor shooting, brighter or high contrast colors are easier to see. And just a note, these are just visual aids. They won't affect your footage. Next is HDMI output. If you're sending your image to an external monitor over HDMI, this is where you decide what that monitor shows. The first selection is monitor display. This sends everything, your image plus overlays, buttons, and menus. Perfect for your crew or when you're setting up a shot and you want to see exactly what the camera operator sees. The next choice is video feed, which sends a clean signal. No overlays, just your image. Great for client previews, a director's monitor, or if you're recording externally. So at the bottom of the monitor settings, you'll find a few more useful toggles. These control what extra info shows up on your screen while filming. First is display audio meters. It lets you keep an eye on your levels so you're not recording too quiet or clipping. Then you have display histogram, which helps you judge exposure at a glance, especially for highlights and shadows. Then we have display storage status, which shows how much space you've got left. Super helpful when shooting long takes. And then we have display upload status, as it shows if your clips are uploading in the background. And finally, we have display battery indicator, which shows your current battery level, especially important when you're rigged up and you can't see your iPhone's native icon. That's it for this part of the Blackmagic Camera App series. Now that you're able to fix your exposure fast, up next we're diving into manual focus and rack focus. Be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, guys.